Well, we're back again with another session of Tech Talk with my buddy from FPM3.com. That's Adam Oldfield.
That's me.
Yes, it is.
Glad to be here
and
today.
we're here
Yes.
because of AMLcares.com, AML Communications, a authorized dealer of Rogers, of course, all across Ontario and the East Coast. And
Talk about all things tech.
yes.
I mean, like I just actually was there. We're going to do a segment soon on tablets, and I was in the store taking a look around at some of the cool things that are coming out. So I'm right now testing out the new Android Ice Cream 4.0 operating system. So I'll have a little report. We'll be doing that on our upcoming segment of Tech Talk.
You propeller heads just love getting in there. And
It's great. It's fantastic. I get to play with all the gadgets. It's
I knew you would like that.
I
You're
love
just
it.
one of those guys. Anyway, today we're going to talk about operating systems. And Adam, what's happening with Apple?
Well, you know what? It's this year is going to be a launch of a few operating systems, and I mean some are coming out now, some are coming out in the spring. But Apple's announced that there's a new cat in town, and it's going to be the Mountain Lion. So Lion was just released only about the fall, not long ago, and it had a few little bugs because they're really trying to migrate into this very seamless operating system. And so now they've come out with Mountain Lion, which is going to have over 250 updates. And we had talked a little earlier, again, when Apple does something, they take their time to get it out. And one of the features that just makes me laugh, and they launched it with the iOS, the 5, was, tasks. You look at tasks and you say like a to-do list. Yeah, that's going to be one of the features. Never had that one before.
Brand new.
I know. So Apple, I love the product. I'm staring at it as we speak. But anyway, but what I find interesting is in Mountain Lion, they're going to be coming out with a few upgrades, and they're really starting to build themselves. And it's supposed to be seamless. It's going to roll out with the iPad 3. It's going to work with the iPhone. So all these systems are all going to start interconnecting under the iCloud.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is that they've really built themselves around some very interesting partners, and one of them is Flickr, remember the photo group?
Yep.
Vimeo, not YouTube, is integrated very seamlessly. Now, you take a look at Vimeo, they got 65 million unique visitors per month versus YouTube's at 130 million.
Yeah.
However, YouTube is operated and owned by Google, and so they've had a little issues in the past.
Yeah.
So this probably makes sense, but what I find really cool is that Twitter is integrated very closely within the Apple element, and the one that isn't integrated into Mountain Lion, Facebook. And they just announced it. They've been having some up and downs, some challenges, and there was announcements that they finally came out with the Facebook app for the iPad. And now it's interesting that it wasn't part of the new operating with Mountain Lion. So what's going on in Facebook? It's got its own little world, and it's very intriguing to see that it wasn't, or whatever was discussed hadn't come together. Another very interesting point is that Apple got approval on 19 patents just got approval. And, patents get approval all the time, but it takes years to get sometimes your approval in process. This is an official approval, and what makes this very interesting is their patent was that MacBook Air, the very thin laptop.
Yep.
They got the patent for that design. And why that's so important is that there's a lot of other laptop manufacturers out there that were making it, and there was a news that just came out in the last week that said that Asus, Asus has apparently been told they're no longer allowed to be manufacturing that laptop. So this is going to be interesting. Someone's going to have to come up with a completely unique thin design for the laptop, because Apple now owns the right. So the thin laptop is now in one circle. So that's going to be interesting.
That's going to be very interesting.
So look for Mountain Lion. It's going to be 10.8 coming out. A lot of issues with the Lion, as I mentioned, is it's not very backwards compatible. They took out a lot of the Rosetta. So Rosetta was the program that allowed to integrate between the old OS 9 and bringing it into the OS 10 when they were bringing it up. Leopard was really heavy operating system. Snow Leopard cleaned it up. Lion really cleans it up. I think it's only 5 gigs. So that's pretty tight for an operating system. And number 2 is that this is going to be interesting in how it rolls out. But the key component of this is that it's very much integrated into the social media outlet.
Yep.
So,
and they have tasks.
And they have tasks.
Wow.
I've been sitting here going, what am I going to do today? And finally, I got a list.
Finally,
Yes.
we get to do tasks on the Apple operating system.
That's right. So, so the second most exciting, and apparently, I believe, I noticed that you brought your playbook
Yes,
today.
I have my playbook here.
And
of course.
we've been talking about the upgraded system coming out, and it's official now that the playbook has 2.0 on the system.
There it is, 2.0. I just downloaded it this morning.
What makes it unique is, again, BlackBerry has lived up to its word. It is a business tool, and I think you and I were playing around with it a little earlier. It's got the native programs with messages, contacts, and calendar. What I really like about the calendar program specifically is that it really is a business tool. It's broken down between a month with your agenda on the right-hand side.
Notice that there's Tech Talk.
Yes, we have a meeting today. It allows you to see under people who's coming to the meeting.
Yes.
It also gives you a day profile within the month. It's got a nice week schedule, so you got a nice profile within that, and you can be able to easily get around and see where in the time slots you're within. So again, from a calendar standpoint, I think that's very important. What I also thought was interesting is that under the contacts, when I was adding myself to Greg, because he didn't even have me in the list. Anyway, under the contacts, what I find is, again, very much involved with, hold up a little bit. What I make it sort of very interesting is that it's very much integrated into the social media, specifically within LinkedIn. What I like about it is that there's little icons on the right-hand side, and what it does is it gives you an opportunity to see your history through a social media connection point. So if you're on LinkedIn using your connections back and forth, it's keeping a log file of that. It also keeps a record of every time you had a meeting with that person. It's almost like a preset operating tracking system to see like when our last meeting was and when our upcoming meetings are. So even now
good.
we can see that February the 21st we had a discussion, you and I, with regards to our Tech Talk program. It allows us also to define where we last met. So we were at Cambridge, and we can see the date that you and I last met.
Very good.
It's got a little notes section, particularly on myself, if you wanted to add a few features about who I am, and obviously it's got some abilities to link myself to others in the contact list. So once again, this is very much a business tool.
Yeah,
It's really utilizing LinkedIn. It's using all
I
your
think
other...
we've said all along that that's what BlackBerry's objective is with the playbook and with the BlackBerry device as well.
Well, and the other upgrades they've done, and they've talked about this, is it allows you to actually make folders. In the old Playbook program, it only allowed you to work within their parameters. Well, now you can, it works similar to the iPad. You just kind of hold down the icon. They all kind of like glow in and out. And when you want to move them within a folder, you just drag it on top of each other, and it creates a folder with those icons in it. So that's cool. You can, you've got the ability to make your own custom folders. I think that's important. People were finding that I'm always restricted by what BlackBerry has given us. It still has the bridge feature. It's got the airport feature. You got your internet tethering. So, I mean, they are upgrading it. And the cool thing is that they've upgraded a few other features pertaining to the Android operating system. Some of the apps will be able to work on it. It's still a little buggy, but I think they've improved that. So it's got one step up. Good for you, BlackBerry. And I think you've made
Good job,
a really
Rim.
good... A really good business tool. So that's going to be, and
I like my playbook.
it's simple, it's small, it
Yep.
sticks in your pocket. You can take it with you, and it works great with your BlackBerry device.
Absolutely.
So those are our two updates. We'll talk about Windows and all the other ones down the road. But this is exciting. Exciting
It
year
is.
for operating systems.
Stay tuned for another session of Tech Talk brought to you by AML, AMLcares.com. Go visit their site for everything tech. Adam, it's been great.
Thank you, Greg.